Right, we are live, people. Welcome back then to the channel. Arsenal versus Man City preview, but I've got a very special guest. Big up Delboy. Delboy, how you doing?
What's the crack, Lee? What's the bleeding story? How are you keeping? All right?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Looking forward to the new year, but first we've got to get through this game. Well, no, I say that the game is on New Year's, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. Certainly not confident, but yeah, what are you saying?
Yeah, I'm not confident at all. I don't think I can't see us getting anything really out of it. You know what I mean? I like City are just unbelievable at the minute. They're such a good team. They're
Yeah,
on like I know they only bet Brentford or whatever 1-0, but that's what champions do, don't they? To get the results. Their team on the bench even alone is just unbelievably strong. They have what it takes to win the league. And I was sort of saying earlier on in the season that I was thinking Liverpool might do it, but I just think City are sort of swaying things for me, you know what I mean? Because I was thinking Man City may concentrate on Europe and the Champions League. I think Pep really wants that for Man City, and it's the what I thought they'd be throwing everything at that, to win it, and it might distract them. But just their bench alone, never mind their first team, just their bench alone is it's really strong, you know what I mean? And it would not surprise me if they did go and win the Champions League and the league. They're that good. So
100%.
the
Yeah,
match tomorrow, I think they're going to steamroll us. I really do. Unfortunately, like our probably youth, the younger players, just what might get outsmarted, by the experienced Man City team. They're that good. I like I can't see. I can't see us getting a result even a draw. I couldn't see that. We're just on an awful streak of with them.
yeah,
I don't know what it is. Is it the mentality? Is it the mentality of Arteta himself? Should he be doing different things? I don't know. But I personally thought when we did get Arteta, I says, right, maybe we might beat City. He'd have the ins and outs of them, but obviously that's not the way things are. It should be an advantage to us because Arteta would know Pep more than any manager in the league, and he'd know his tricks and his what he'd have up his sleeve. But
mm,
unfortunately, no, I don't think he's getting his message through. Must be what do you think yourself? Do you think
yeah.
Arteta should
No,
have an upper hand?
no, I can't see it, man. Look, I certainly think big up Jamino in the chat.
Yeah.
Always supporting. What's Doughboy saying there? Get the Vaseline. No, I think that look, City essentially they have two world class teams that they can put out. Like their bench would walk into our first team, and it's the one thing
Yeah.
that you need to win a game, you need to win that midfield battle. Do you think that our midfield is going to come up against the likes of De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, whoever they put out and dominate the midfield? No chance. And that's the thing. I know for a fact that we're going to sit back. And if you sit back against a team like Man City, look, people will say that we can get at them, hit them on the break. But if we sit back and invite pressure, which we will do, I think, because we don't have it in us to pass them off the park. I'm not saying we should pass them off the park, but we should certainly look. We've seen performances against Norwich, Leeds, West Ham, but they all sat back. As soon as a team comes at us, I haven't seen us actually get out and change it up to make it work. And that's what I'm saying. If you give City a certain amount of chances, eventually they'll take one. They will take one eventually, and then when they take that chance, there's not really much hope of getting something from the game because they're going to be difficult to break down. They're gonna come at you. They're gonna have chance after chance, and I'm certainly not confident for the game at all. I'm not confident. And I saw someone. I was on stream just now with Luca's. This is Luca's life. Big up to Luca. But someone in the chat was saying he thinks we'll win 3-1. I could see us scoring 1 goal maximum against Man City.
I don't even see that. I
don't think the 3-0.
Yeah, I'm sort of like 1 minute I'm thinking like, yeah, the form that we're on and stuff like that. And then like, you know, yeah, we've been scoring 5 goals here and there, like, you know, so surely we should be able to score at least 1 against City. But like, yeah, they're like what you were saying there, their midfield is clearly miles better than us, and Partey hasn't been, you know, for me, he hasn't been the Partey that was at Atletico Madrid, you know, and you know, we'd need a big game from him and Xhaka, the two of them together, in midfield, like I'm talking 8-9 out of 10 performance if we're to get a result, because that's where it will start for us. If we have any chance at all, you'd have to sort of look at the midfield area, who's going to win the battles there. Like Smith Rowe, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, like, you know, whoever he's going to start with. I can see them getting chances, like, you know, but their keeper, their defense is just unbelievable, you know, and it's going to be hard to break down. If we did score, I just think that's gonna wake up, you know, the giant, like, you know, and I think they'll drop a gear and just absolutely hammer us then, like, you know. But yeah, I think the midfield battle will be big for the game. So as I'm saying, can you see Partey and Xhaka putting in an 8-9 out of 10 performance?
Definitely not, and certainly with Xhaka, look, the guy, I wouldn't even start Xhaka. I know he's played well, but in this game, you're going to have 1 to 2 seconds on the ball max. So Xhaka's a very slow player in that midfield. And in these games, this is where you see the worst of Granit Xhaka, in these big games when you need to be quick and he'll lose his head. And I certainly will not start Granit Xhaka. Big up to Luca's life. Go subscribe to this guy. He's a really quality channel, man. Quality channel.
Yeah, very good.
The show we done just now, go check it out. Really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for getting me on. I certainly am gonna get him on the channel. I think I don't know if you're up for it though, Boyd, but after the game, I think I'll do a player ratings and get a few of the lads on. Maybe Luca, you, anyone else that wants to come on. But big up Luca. Jamino says I can't see us getting a goal yet. No, 100%.
Yeah.
If you want to score a goal against a team like City, hitting them on the break, yes, it works sometimes, but it's also got a very slim chance that you're actually going to be able to break their press, because the way they press, and that's the thing you notice with these top teams, the way they press you, it's very hard. As much as you can sit back against them, it's very hard to break them down. The way we've been playing in these past few games is we've constantly had the ball, we've had the possession, we've constantly been able to dominate teams. We're going to very realistically, we're going to have about 30% of the possession, maybe even less. So I just can't see us going and attacking and getting a goal. Thanks for coming on. Anytime, man. And if anyone wants to come on this channel, look, you're all welcome. I put my email, I put my Twitter in my about section. DM me, hit me up, and I'll get anyone on. Look, this is open for debate. Some people might disagree with the opinions that we hold, but that's what this is all about. And if you want to come challenge my opinion, please do, because I want to hear different opinions, because it's also good to have debates. And this is football. There's no right or wrong opinion. It's all down to what you think.
Exactly. Yeah.
Arteta is small, cautious, reserved. Conte faced Liverpool with the worst team yet. Bar Kane, poor form, and Son competed for 90 minutes. That's what I'm saying. In 3 weeks, Arsenal crumble. Yeah, we do crumble. It's all about the mentality. And I can certainly see us getting rolled over against City. Like Delboy, you said it again. You think we'll get steamrolled. I certainly think we will, because although we've been playing well, I'm going to big up the performances. However, when it comes to these sort of games where you're going to have little chances, very little of the ball, we don't do well in them at all. Like you said earlier, we haven't beaten City in a very long. I think it was December 2015, the last time we beat them. We have a very bad record against them. What do you make of it?
Yeah, it's like, it's disgraceful if you ask me. You know what I mean? Like, we're just very bad with trying to beat the top teams, and it's a big downfall for us and our targets. Well, us as fans want as targets. We all know that the club don't set targets for a manager, which is like absolutely ridiculous if you ask me. He should have targets, and he should be able to meet them. It's like that in any way of life. You have a job, you have targets to meet. If you don't meet them constantly, you're brought into question, And what you were going back there earlier on and saying that getting Man City on the break, that's vital, okay? But that's where the midfielder then sort of comes into it, because if we're getting them on the break, they have to be disciplined as well to hold back, hold the fort, and if they get the ball and they try to counteract us, we'll be wide open, and that's, I think, where the likes of Xhaka will do a clumsy challenge. He'll get himself booked probably early on, and then we're just under pressure the whole game then. He won't be able to do his tackles or whatever to sort of break up the play and break off the counter attack from them, and that's that's where we're coming back to Xhaka then again. I was on Twitter earlier on, and the amount of love that he still has, and I just don't understand that from supporters. I just really don't understand that, because he's cost us a good few games, a good few in the big games as well. He should be and all that thing with the armband and stuff like that. It's just disgraceful, and I just don't understand why a lot of supporters back him. Now a lot don't, but that's the way it is. Yeah, I'm just looking there at Alex. He's a good guy as well. Subscribe to him.
Yeah,
I'm going 3-1 Man City. Yeah, apart from the guy you says there, have you even seen anyone positive going to try and win the game, or has anyone said to you, "Oh, I fancy 2-0 Arsenal"?
I most of the people I've seen on Twitter are saying we can get something, but it's going to be hard. Although we've been on a good run, look, we've done it against teams that have sat back. It's going to be extremely different against Man City, and I'll go back to this point. I'm still yet to see us when a team is pressuring us. We saw it against Liverpool, we couldn't handle it. Against United, we couldn't handle it. Even Everton, they were onto us, and we couldn't handle it either. And that's the thing. It's all well and good doing it in these games, but if you want to start competing, these are the teams that you need to put the performances in against. And I haven't seen it. Remember Carabao Cup last year? We were 1-0 down, like a score to make it 1-1, and then they played us off the pitch 4-1. Yeah, exactly. I remember that game very well. Although there was a mistake, a big mistake from Runnison, it doesn't change the fact that they absolutely dominated us from that point onwards. Josh, you see facts like Delboy. Yeah, big up Alex. Alex, if you wanted to come on the channel on Saturday after the game for a player rating, so I'll get a few of the lads on. Then, like I said, my Twitter DM is in the description of my channel. Then hit me up, because I'm down to get anyone on this channel. We all have an opinion, and if you want to express your opinion, then feel free to come on. Do you think City will go for the throat or ease off the gas when they hit 3-4-0? I think they'll start the game. We might start the game. We might have a burst in the first 2 minutes, or we might get a chance. But then from then onwards, I think City will just control it. They'll dominate it. They might go goals up and then not sit back, but calm it down. I think we've seen it. Like they'll get a few goals, then they'll just control the game. They can they don't even need to be at their best. They can control a game, and I think they'll certainly go for us. And then whether they relax it after, I don't know. Look, we lost 5-0 to them earlier this season, so you never know what could happen. I think with us being at home is a slight advantage, but it won't change the fact that City, look, we've been beaten 3-0 at home time and time again to Man City. Last season we lost 1-0, but last season City weren't even at their best, and we still didn't really create any chances. If you remember, 5'7" Sterling out jumped Rob Holding, and then from then on they just slowed the game down and controlled it, and it wasn't their best performance, but it was certainly a tactical performance, and they certainly knew what they were doing. I'm just hoping Snake Grealish don't score. I already know we've lost, so I'm just hoping that Snake doesn't get on the score sheet. I'm assuming you're talking about the whole Irish, English.
Like, I'm wondering to see, Jamino. I was just actually, I'd like to know your take of this. See, when we were getting linked to him, like, were you up for that? Just if you get back there in a second, but just to what you're saying there, like, if we lose 5-0, I will, excuse me French or whatever, fucking lose the plot. Do you know what I mean? Because it's in the Emirates. That shouldn't be fucking happening. You know what I mean? So all the Arteta's fucking ends and all this shit, if them guys can settle for that, like, that's the type of support you don't want at the club, and they're the fucking problem. And as I said before, and I've said it to you, like, Arteta's not going to walk away from a huge contract that he's on. No human on the fucking planet would, apart from Willian. But you know, but yeah, like, it's back to square one for me now. I'm sort of, you know, if Arteta, like, you know, obviously he's not there for the game, but I'm just saying, if he wins against Man City, he wins against Spurs, I'll go, right, okay, fair enough. He's doing something right. It may be clicking. I'm still not Arteta in, but we'd all have to sort of get it into our heads and just roll your sleeves up and get used to it. He's there till the end of the season. I think if he gets results, definitely out of these two games. Is he going to get the 2 wins with Spurs and City? The Spurs game's a lottery, and as it says, like, with the Man City, is just now that's going to be a beating. But anything over 2-0 is disgraceful to me. I would like us to even just get it at 2-1. You know, it'd be a fair enough result, but I can't see it like that, you know.
No, yeah, 100%. Look, if we start the game well, if we maybe start the game quick and goal up, then we might be able to get something. But when do we ever do that? Look, we always these games. We approach the game in the wrong way. And it's all about how you approach the game. If you go into the game and just look, like I said, we aren't going to pass Man City off the park. We aren't going to dominate the ball. But when we do have the ball, we don't have it in us to use it smartly. Because against these teams that we've been beating, I know we've been playing well, but we've had a lot. We've had pretty much most of the ball. We've had time on the ball. And if a team sits back against us, we have no problem beating them. But it's all about when a big team comes up against you, how you manage the game, because you see it all the time. You see Crystal Palace went and beat Man City, was it 2-0? And then you have a team like Brighton who have gone and got a point out of Chelsea. Like, there's always these teams who can get results against the big games, but we're never one of them. We always crumble against the big teams. Fury DJ hopes our game is cancelled. I certainly don't hope the game is cancelled.
I'd rather just get the fucking thing out of the way, just get it over and done with.
It's not going to change anything, is it? So, big up Doberman. Go subscribe to Doberman. How many subs?
I'm just wondering, like, why does Fury? Why are you saying that? Why would you like the game cancelled? You know? Yeah, let us know. Yeah.
How many subs are you on now, Doberman?
I think it's 220 something. I think something like that. So, I see you got your 200 as well. Fair play, mate.
200. It's big up Lee, man, because he's helped a lot with that.
Yeah, and me as well. Big up Lee. Yeah, great guy.
He's always out there putting the link in the chat or whatever it is. Doing a lot.
It's not. I'll tell you, it's not easy, as he said. Like, you know what I mean. You have to sort of,
especially when you don't speak positively. Like, especially with us, when our opinion might be different from a lot of people, because a lot of Arsenal fans tend to back what they're seeing right now. So it's harder for us. If we were sitting here right now and dressing everything up and speaking all positively and fake. We could easily do a lot better than we are. But
Oh yeah,
keep it
100%.
real.
Like I even noticed, like, on Twitter, I don't engage with anyone really because, like, there's just, they're like fucking hyenas. They just come on top of you and, oh, you're negative, you're this, you're that, like, you know what I mean? And it's not worth it. Like, I don't have the time to sit there and, like, fucking talk to clowns on social media or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? I look at their comment and I'm just whatever, mate. But it's yeah. There's a lot of people that are just, they need to fucking wake up, seriously, like,
Yeah.
and they probably take a look at me channel, and you'd often seen someone that subscribed and then about an hour later they've unsubscribed. They've seen the content that I'm putting out. That's fair enough. I don't give a fuck.
A few times as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure Lee gets that as well on a much bigger scale, but I'm sure he doesn't give a shit.
You should go and read the comments on the stream we done yesterday. There were a lot of people.
Do you know what? I actually did. I was reading them this morning.
Yeah.
Like, fuck's sake.
Yeah, look, my dad was saying to me, he was like, oh, you sure about this? Because a lot of people are gonna say nasty stuff. I told him I don't really care, to be honest. If people wanna say stuff, I'm not really gonna get. At the end of the day, if you're putting yourself out there, there's always gonna be people who are saying, look, I respect you. If you want to challenge my opinion, do it. But if you're doing it in a hateful way, well, why don't you come to your own channel? Because most of these people who do write hateful stuff, they hide behind their phones and they don't ever.
Oh, it's 100%.
Give us your opinion. And there was a lad who went on Lee Gunner's channel. Fair play to him, because he had a different opinion, but he challenged it in a respectful way, and he had a bit of a debate with Lee, and that's all. I'm all up for it.
I respect that. We all have different opinions in life to every sort of, like, thing. Like, if there was no different opinions, it'd be a very boring world, wouldn't it? But like, as you're saying, there's a lot of guys out there, like, on Twitter, like, and I'm on it a while, but I just sort of never took any notice of it and didn't even log in or anything like that for a while. But there's a lot of people. Oh, if you follow me, I'll follow you. Like, fuck off. Like I don't give a shit if anyone follows me or unfollows me on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't care. And even like, to share the content on Twitter, I don't see it grabs like traction at all.
Jamino has answered your question, and he says, "There's no chance I'd take Grealish. Never wanted him even when we were linked. Sorry about Henry, but I also hate him too for his handball. I've rattled most fans, but it's only an opinion." So he's clearly very anti Black Grealish. He is Irish, isn't he? Obviously. Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah. And like, I actually met Henry before, in Miami, before the famous handball incident. Did you ever see that yourself? Did you?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it. I wasn't obviously allowed to watch it, but yeah.
But Arsenal fans, like, the way it was, like, it was just like, it felt like my brother sleeping with the missus or something like that. You know what I mean? I was there. I can't fucking believe this. But then he goes and smashes a few in against fucking Spurs, and you're just there. You're forgiven, mate.
Yeah.
But it's with Grealish, and Declan Rice as well. I'm sure you're just.
Declan Rice. There's a few. Like,
Declan Rice it actually hurts me a bit more, because he was there singing the Irish anthem and giving it loads, and then he's fucking, that. But look, that's the way it is. He nearly won the Euros out of it, so best of luck to them. Move on. They're gone to me. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I sort of look at things. It's like a player when Henry or Van Persie left. Right, they're no longer at Arsenal. I no longer support them. Forget about them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know when you were growing up, like, when when did like, who was a big player that you were gutted we lost?
Alexis Sanchez, because he's probably the player I've grown up watching.
Yeah, it's sick.
I never had any hate for him either.
No, you can't blame him. I think it hit home for me when he had he was in Old Trafford or something like that, and he took a picture, and that fucking hurt me. All right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's it's sickening when big players go, like, you know. But do we have superstars at the club at the minute?
No, we
You
don't.
know, yeah, you don't, like, you know. And I think that's what you definitely need if you want to start challenging these big teams, you know. But yeah, we're a few players short of, like, you know, becoming a title contender anyway.
Yeah. All the Arteta ins are free hits for me. Yeah, they are. A lot of people
Yeah.
are saying free hit. Look, you're saying free hit, but we've spent 115 mil. There's no other
Yeah.
team in the league who would call this game a free hit. That's not acceptable. If you want to start going somewhere, then you can't afford to call these games free hit. No game is a free hit. I don't care who you're playing. It's never a
Oh
free hit.
yeah,
That's the wrong
100%.
we never win away at Spurs, so I'm not confident for that game either. We'll get onto that game after the City game, but no, I'm not confident for that at all, especially with their new manager, someone who I would personally love at Arsenal. But
Yeah.
they've got a system now, and the thing is with Conte, he's got the ability to dig players who are on bad form. He can dig them out and he can get them firing again. He seems to be doing it with Kane at the moment. So if we could have someone like that, then
big time, yeah.
It's the drubbing I expect to be against City. Personally, I would like the Emirates crowd to grow a pair and boo the performance. Let them know that bending over and taking it is not on. Yeah, I agree. I'm going to be at the game. So I was shouting Arteta out when we were beating Sunderland 5-1. People were looking at me.
What sort of reaction do you get from the fans that are there? Like, you know,
people
around you?
Be confused. Like,
what?
So the guy I was sitting next to when I was saying Arteta out, he was like, "Oh, come on, mate, we're winning 5-1." I'm like, I had a little chat with him. I said, "Yeah, but it's the bigger picture." And they're all there taking their selfies, and most of the crowd treat it as a day out rather than actually getting behind their team. And when the performance is bad, let them know, because at the end of the day, you're paying however much you are to come and watch the team. You're supporting the team. If they're just gonna let themselves get rolled over, it's not good enough. So Delboy's link is in the chat. I'll pin it myself. So do go and subscribe to him. Big up, Delboy. You're welcome anytime on this channel.
Cheers, mate. Great. And the same, vice versa. You're more than welcome on mine, and you know, I'm sure we'll do more content as well together.
Definitely. I'm all for the Boo Boys, but not many people are willing to push that far for excellence. Yeah, it is true. It's true. Not many people. Most people are silent at the Emirates. Most people don't say anything. Smash the lights. Yeah.
Like as it says there, with most people like silent, you just know that they, like, you know, they're obviously Arteta out, but they just, like, you know, it's not fashionable as you say, like, you know, and it's you don't want to be the one to stand out and have the balls to do that. And like, fair play to you. You're 17 years of age, and that's what you believe in. And you know, you purchased the ticket to go there. You have every right to shout what you want to shout. You know, obviously not within means, like, you know what I mean. No disrespecting to anyone. But yeah, you know. And I think for people to turn around to anyone that's like that and just, like, you know, tell them to sort of shut up, like, it's no, you shut up, you know.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. I agree with you there. Delboy's link is pinned to the top of the comments, so you can go and subscribe to him without actually leaving the video now. Alexis for me as well. Yeah, sad to see his downfall since leaving. I've honestly forgotten about him. You're 15, aren't you, Jamina? I think I remember you saying you're 15. So I'd also like agree with you there, because you probably Alexis is probably the best player you've seen play live as well for Arsenal. At least he's the best player of the Emirates era. And he's just, his mentality was elite. And you can't blame these players for wanting to leave. If you're a player with an elite mentality, then Arsenal Football Club is not the team for you. And that's sad as it is to say, it's true, because
exactly, yeah, like, you know, the way
like Hector Bellerin coming out and saying he wanted to win too much. It's just it's not good.
He's a fucking clown to me. I just don't like him at all. Like, you know what I mean? he's more into like, you know, fucking saving trees and whatever. Like, you know what I mean? I think you should be more concentrating on your performance, and you know, you're getting paid a lot of money, and you're fucking swanning down a bleeding catwalk. Like seriously, fucking grow up. You know. What was I gonna say? Yeah, the Saka thing as well. Did you see that about Liverpool?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, like I've been saying it. You know what I mean? You see, you know, I was saying it about the younger players. Like, you know, we're going to get lots of bigger teams coming in for them, and you know, if we can't, like, you know, like go for what they want, what like, you know, trophies and leagues and stuff like that. There's other clubs that are they're going to throw money at it, and even on Twitter, I'm saying, oh well, they came from the Hale End or whatever. So fucking what? I come from bleeding Dublin. Does that make fucking any difference? You know what I mean?
No.
It's money will be shown in front of them. Look at Conte, for example. Everyone's there. I can't see him coming to Arsenal. Spurs come out. There's 13 million a season. Thanks. See you in the corridors at fucking Spurs. You know.
Yeah. That's what
Sorry.
I'm saying.
Go ahead. Yes.
People say we can't get this manager or that manager. If you pay the money, you can buy any manager out of their contract, because I just don't get why we didn't go for Conte, because that for me, Conte would have this team doing. I'm looking at Spurs and I'm thinking they have got a proper that's what you call a process, because with Arteta, you've never seen him manage before, so I'm not gonna sit there and back this when I've not seen him do it before. With Conte, it's another story, because he's done it time and time again. He is a manager that can get any single player, whether they're off form, he can get them firing. Arteta doesn't have it in him to do that. Like Firmino said, this comment here, Southampton didn't have Hassan Hutel when they played City. You didn't see them calling it a free hit.
Yeah, that's a great point.
You didn't see them calling it a free hit. It's only Arsenal fans, and you know for a fact if we get steamrolled, that's going to be the excuse being peddled that Arteta wasn't there.
He wasn't there. Fucking, yeah. You know, saying seriously, you know, and that's the reason as well, because it'll drive me even more if it's 5-0 or something like that. Oh well, he wasn't there, and this no, like he had the whole week or whatever to get his points across for the game. Like, you know what I mean? There's been plenty of training sessions, I'm sure, that they were chatting about the Man City game, and he's obviously as well in the training ground. I'm sure he's on a phone or Zoom and fucking something. It's like, you know, it's 2021 at the minute. We've plenty of technology. I'm sure he's seen, and he's able to shout out a few things here and there. You know, so no, it's not a free hit at all. No, you know, there's no excuse for it.
No, there's not. There shouldn't be. You're spending well-earned money to go to a match or buy club merchandise. You have every right to be mad if we lose. Exactly. It's like spending all your money on a bar of chocolate only to spit out. Yeah, exactly, Jamino. And big up yourself, because you're only 15 and you seem to have.
I didn't know that. Jesus, fair play to them.
So, I wish there was more young fans like me and you, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I actually thought, like the way Jamino talks, he sounds educated. Do you know what I mean, about the club? So fair play, and he's always a good one, always a real one.
Yeah, 100%. Leicester, Palace, Wolves, Brighton, City, and LFC is 3 hits. Yeah, exactly. City and aforementioned teams. Yeah, I agree with that. It's all about the way you approach the game. If you go into it saying 3 hit, then what do you expect? What do you expect?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
We're gonna get into the starting lineup. Just gonna read these comments out first.
Yeah.
Bergkamp, Vieira, Riley, RVP, Cesc, Cole leaving hurt. Then my heart turned to ice. Yeah. Yep. I don't blame any one of them for leaving. Look, you can say maybe it's wrong that they went to a rival team, but at the end of the day, they wanted to win. They have that winning mentality. Notice every one of those names you mentioned there, including Sanchez, had an elite mentality. And especially if you look at Cesc Fabregas, he had a proper mentality. He was a winner. And then he went to Barca. We didn't take him back. And then he goes to Chelsea and he wins the league at Chelsea. So, yeah.
There you go.
That was my biggest issue with Project Youth. Yeah, sounded to me. Yeah, he's put PR in capitals. Yeah, Project U sounded to me like going from a big club to a feeder club on purpose, which defeats the objective of the Arsenal DNA. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Arteta's out here saying we're going to win the Champions League in 3 years, was it? And now he's spinned it to a Project Youth, and it's
Yeah,
all about the way you see it, and fans seem to buy it. So it's very smart from Arteta's perspective because he knows that he can hook Arsenal fans just like that because they're so gullible and they will believe anything just like that. And yeah, for me, it's all about
exactly. Yeah.
a few more comments to read out, and we are going to get into the starting lineup. I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask
Can
you.
you just hold there 1 second, Josh? I'll be back in 1 second.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. I'll just read these comments out anyway. Everyone considers academy players or English players to be 5 times better than other players. I know, I agree. I know I'm waffling about this too much. No, you're not waffling about it too much. You have your opinion. You're very strong about your opinion, but I respect it. I know I'm waffling about this too much, but if Grealish was still Irish, he wouldn't be £100 million City player. Yeah, English tax. If you look at Ben White, 50 million. He was probably worth about 25 mil in my opinion. 50 mil. 80 mil for Maguire. It's all English tax. It's English tax. Like, it's a shame because, yeah, like you said, if Grealish was Irish, he wouldn't be £100 million City player. He would not be £100 million. He was probably, I can't lie, he was probably around 60, 70 mil, not 100 mil. I can't see that. Yeah, English tax is what it is. Arteta staff all have COVID, hence why I said this. Yeah. Plus, Arteta is picking the starting 11, formation, tactics, etc. too. He'll be given half a time team talk through Zoom. He'll be in Airport Albert here, but he'll still be picking the 11. He still would have had a significant amount of time to get his tactics through to the team. So I'm not having any excuses about whether he wasn't there or not, because regardless, you should not be. So just because Arteta is not there, you're going to get steam. That's not acceptable. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be looking at it that way. I'm going to read this comment out, and then we're going to go into the starting lineup. I'm educated, younger than most fans. The reason I speak like this is because I listen and talk to real ones who actually know about the club and care more about Arsenal than a player or manager. Agreed. Look, I'm young as well, so I get educated by a bunch of people. Chatting to you, chatting to Lee. Look, I'm here to be. I don't know everything myself, but if I can learn as much as I can, then I will, because it's easy to sit here and hype everything up. But realistically, Arsenal Football Club are nowhere near where they should be right now. We are nowhere near where we should be. Last comment before we go into the lineup. Seen Chronicles post a video with Airport Albert slapped all over it. Readying the excuses for when Muppet Arsenal bubbles get burst. Yeah, the excuses are coming. I'll tell you that now. The excuses are lined up and they're going to be coming when we get steamed. But we're going to go into the starting 11 now. Delboy, I want to ask you what your starting 11 would be. Would you change it up in any areas? We'll start with the goalkeeper. Who going and goal? I shouldn't even be asking you this. But
yeah, it's pretty straightforward. But when we signed them, I was completely against it. I didn't want them near the club. I just thought it was just.
Fans were.
Yeah. I he was just one player that I was just he's he's not even getting the international. He can't get Pickford out of the way. Southgate didn't see much in him, and I was completely proven wrong. I love the chap. I love his passion. I love that, I love seeing that in any player, a bit of passion, a bit of drive and wanting to win, and I'm sure is it a bit early for him to be a captain? I said this in one of my streams or videos or something like that, he's only at the club and stuff like that, but if we'll just say the likes of a character that walks into a dressing room, and if they mean business and they have the respect of other players and stuff like that, I don't care how long they're at the club. If they're a leader, they're a leader. You know what I mean? It's like putting a wolf in it with a sheep pen. You know what I mean? A leader will always stand out. So yeah, look, he's brilliant, and long may it last. I'm still not getting too excited about it yet because look, it's still his fourth season. It's about consistency. Is he able to do it for 2-3 seasons? You know, and then we can judge him then because you know it's like a team. Sheffield United. I always say he's done brilliant, and then next thing the following season they're relegated. You know, so look, we'll take it easy. If we're to challenge for a title, I could see him being in goal no matter who else they sign, if it's a backup keeper or what other keeper they get. Well, yeah, definitely, Ramsdale definitely starting for me.
Yeah, 100%. And the point you said about when we were signing him, you not being happy, I wasn't happy either because for me it was more of the case like, why have we not just kept Matt Ryan instead of paying whatever we paid for him? Because Matt Ryan was a decent backup, but it's worked out. And yeah, like you said about his passion, I love his passion and his distribution is his I think his best attribute, and that's something we've lacked because you notice with Leno, when the ball comes to him, he panics. With Ramsdale, he's so calm on the ball. He'll distribute play and he'll get an attack going. I just love the guy, and he's certainly got a shot. If he carries on this form, he's got a shot to wear the armband one day.
Yeah, like, and I was just sort of thinking, like, if we did keep Matt Ryan, we probably would have never got Ramsdale. You know,
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
yeah, you know, I'd say, like, we missed the sort of we were lucky, but I'd still take Matt Ryan back as his number 2. You know, say, look, you get cup games, you get the Europa League or like, you know, whatever it was, the cup competitions even, like, you know. But yeah, I'm not like. Do we still have? Do we have the full team? Like, what other players are out with COVID and stuff like that?
I think it's Chambers and Tomiyasu.
They're the only 2.
I think so. If you could let us know in the chat if there's anyone else, but from what I know, it's Tomiyasu and Chambers.
Yeah, well, then like at left back, you're obviously going Tierney.
Yeah, left back Tierney.
Yeah, he's. I just love the chap. He's my favorite player at the minute.
Yeah, I want him to wear the armband. I would give him the armband, but obviously he's gone with Lacazette. But Tierney, for me, his mentality is elite. He's our most decorated player. He's won the most out of anyone in the squad.
Yeah,
so, he's just a baller, and I love the guy, and I can see him going on to win us something, and I want him to be a part of this squad. I want him to be the captain, like I said, and he's just, his mentality is elite. We need more players like him in the squad.
And like the only thing is as well is, like, as I'm saying earlier on, and I'm sure I'll repeat myself again, it's if big clubs come calling, you know, we're seeing his sort of attitude, and you watch the training videos, and you like, you know, you see all the sort of stuff he does. You know what I mean? I think like any top team would want him in the team, 100%. I think even City would like him, you know, to battle for the left back position. You know, he's that good, like, you know, and he's only going to get better as well. He's still only 24, and he's still only 24, and like, you know, he's a long. I think, how long left does he have in his contract? He's trying to sign a new, or they're trying to give him one?
I think he signed a long-term deal. I think it was a 4-year deal. I'm not sure when
that's what
he signed it. Yeah, but no, I agree with everything you've just said. Yeah, 100%. What's the chat saying? Yes, so Cedric and Maitland-Niles are out.
They're out as well. Well, like,
that's all. Technically, that's all our right back's gone. If that's the case, so looks like
he'll go with Ben White then at right back, and he'll obviously in the centre then Gabriel and Holding.
Yeah, Gabriel, Holding, and then, as you said, Ben White. That worries me because although Ben White had a decent game against Norwich, he didn't really. I said, he had all the time in the world, and against City, I can see him struggling there.
Well, I think that Pep is just going to, that's the side he's going for. It's down the right-hand side. He'll attack us big time. He'll know that that's our weakness. And that's where we should be sort of trying to counteract that or do something different there. It's because it will be. He's not used to the position. They'll have their boys coming flying at him, and they will definitely attack that side. So I just think Holding or whoever will have to sort of, there'll have to be a lot of communicating there.
Yeah, agreed. I think, Jamina says, smash the like, subscribe to Josh and Delboy. Yeah. Cedric, Amen, Tommy, Chambers, Mari, Sambi had COVID. I think Sambi, Lokonga, and Mari are back now. But yeah, no, we're gonna have to put Ben White on that right-hand side by the looks of it. Probably the hardest bit now, the midfield is coming up against the likes of De Bruyne, Silva. It's not gonna be easy at all.
It's going to be hard, and we all know the Shaq is going to start, and he'll have Partey there as well. They have to be on, as I said earlier on, they have to be hitting 8 and 9 out of 10, to even stand any sort of a chance. And I think if they do, we're in with a fighting chance, but Partey, for me, he hasn't been doing it that much. He's had a game or here, playing well, but just not consistent enough. We need him. We need him firing on all cylinders. A good game out of the two of them, and maybe we could pull a draw out of it. But because they're up against some serious midfield with Man City. De Bruyne is playing well as well. I just think I don't think they're going to do it. I hope they prove me wrong. Jesus Christ, that's what we all want.
Yeah, I would go. Look, I would go Partey in the midfield, and I would put. Well, I would have maybe said Maitland-Niles because he was in a man of the match against Watford, and then he's never really featured since. But probably have to go. Jamino says Partey and Elneny. That could work. It could work. I would certainly rather have Elneny over Xhaka in this game. Xhaka's too slow for me. And in these games, this is where you see the worst of Granit Xhaka. So,
yeah.
Because like I said, against Norwich, he had all the time in the world. He had all the time in the world. Against Leeds, he can play a good pass. He's a good passer of the ball, but his other attributes are not good enough. And against City, I don't see him playing well. So I would go for Partey and Elneny. Maybe Partey and Lokonga as well. But yeah, Partey and Elneny.
Yeah, if I'm sort of going with what I want, but / what they're going to do, I just Shaq is just going to be forced on the sheet for me, forcing him down. He's like Glenn Whelan that used to be for Ireland. You just don't know what he does sometimes, but the managers just always pick him, But yeah, I that's a good shout. Elneny, and I actually, funny enough, I seen a bit of him in training today as well. The clips that Arsenal, put out, he was on it, So it wouldn't surprise me. Or else, what they might just do is start with Xhaka and Partey, and then if for some reason we go 1-0 up or something like that, and it's coming into the last 20 minutes, you can guarantee Elneny will be on to try and hold up, pack out the midfield a bit more,
Yeah. Probably for me, Elneny and Partey. I can't disagree with that. I assume we're going to play a 4-2-3-1 formation.
Yeah.
So in that centre attacking midfield position, for me, I'm going to chuck Smith Rowe in. I think his pace would be vital, and I think Odegaard, I'm not dissing his performance, but I think for this game, I think Smith Rowe would be a better fit. If we're going to be hitting them on the break, which is what we are probably going to be doing, then I'm going to put Smith Rowe in there. What do you think?
What I think is I agree. I do and I don't agree with that. I just think my thinking is Odegaard there And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I
Mhm.
think Smith Rowe would be better coming off the bench. He'd have more impact on the game if it was
Yeah,
1-1 or something like that.
yeah,
It'd make them think, shit, Smith Rowe is coming on. He's going to offer them this. And I just don't think if it was the other way around, if we started Smith Rowe and Odegaard was to come on, I don't think he'd sort of have an impact, if you know what I mean, the impact of coming on. Do you know what I mean? Like, you
mm,
know, the other team, like, let's say you're watching another team, you go, oh, fuck, here's Grealish coming on. You know, we're going to have to do this now. So I just think try to start with Odegaard, you know, sort of see what he offers, and then probably bring on Smith Rowe and shit them up a bit. Like, you know, if it's 1-1 or if even if it's 1-0 at that stage, you know. But it, like, do you know what I mean? I'm not against that starting
yeah.
Smith Rowe, but I just think for an impact sub, I'd like Smith Rowe to be coming on rather than Odegaard.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. However, just for me, I'm saying
Mm.
I agree. Smith Rowe would be a very good impact sub. However, I think starting the game off strong would be more important than having an impact
Yeah,
coming off the bench. So yes, Smith Rowe would definitely be an impact at the bench, and he'd provide more than Odegaard coming off the bench. But then if you're starting Odegaard and benching Smith Rowe, I think Odegaard might not have, because we could find ourselves 3-0 down, and then we're having to bring Smith
yeah,
Rowe off the bench. That's not going
yeah,
to work then. So if you start with Smith Rowe and you start strong, then maybe it can work. But no, I agree with what you're saying. But I just personally think Smith Rowe would be a better person to start. So yeah, but you say Odegaard, I say Smith Rowe.
yeah,
I'm not going to be fussed if Odegaard starts and Smith Rowe's benched, just like I don't think you'd be fussed if Smith Rowe
yeah,
starts. So yeah,
100%.
on the left hand side, this is probably the easiest pick of the lot. Martinelli. I can't say anyone else.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. Like, you know, and it just shows you, like, given the chap game time, you know, was it was just so good for us, like, you know, and it's the same with Smith Rowe and Saka. Arteta sort of had to play them last year, like, you know, when they sort of broke through. You know, he was under pressure to do something, you know, and he was sort of forced into playing Smith Rowe and playing Saka, you know, and it's the same situation with Martinelli. You know, he sort of fell into the position of, right, I have to fucking play him. So, you know, that's to me is sort of like, you know, luck as a manager. We, like, I think every Arsenal fan were screaming at the telly, like, bring him fucking on, like, give him a chance, you know, like a lot of people are with Pepe.
yeah,
You know, it's, yeah, for me it's a no-brainer. He's such a good player. I'm so excited about him. It's
yeah,
unbelievable.
um,
I'm
yeah.
so excited about him. I just think he is going to the top. I can see him one day lifting the Champions League. You know what I mean?
I can
I'm
see
not
him
saying
lifting
it'll
the
be with
Champions
Arsenal, you
League.
know,
Exactly
but
what I was going to say.
yeah, he's going to be a top player, elite player. You know, we're lucky to have him. I think, you know, we'll be lucky to get 3 years, 4 years out of him. You know, if we're just still fucking going round the roundabout. You
Yeah,
know, if it's still the same like that, he's gone in 2 years. Definitely. But
yeah.
if we get the finger out and start contending for titles and getting into the Champions League and going far in the Champions League, you know, we could hold on to him like that with a lot of younger players. You know, on the other side, then obviously Saka for me. Anyway,
Yeah,
what about you?
yeah, I'd go with Saka. Just going back to what you said about Martinelli, yeah,
Yeah,
I just love him as well. And if a team does come in with a big offer for him, I would be very worried because
yeah,
I feel like we'd accept it. And like you said, if we're in the same position 2-3 years down the line, maybe even less, he's going to be one of those who wants out because he has got that elite mentality that a lot of players don't have, and he's relentless. And I just love the guy and the way he presses defenders, and just he's a pest. He is a pest, and yeah, he's going to be. If there's one player who does have a good game against City, then it can be Martinelli. Especially
and
if we are hitting him on the break, he will be a player that can be good at that.
But like even I think Man City will be worried about him if you know, probably
Yeah,
more than Saka or Smith Rowe. I think they will be really worried about him because, as you said, he's a pest. You know what I mean? He's horrible to play against. You know what I mean? I've often played against players like that. They're just a nightmare to mark or to, you know, he's so fast. He comes at you. He drops the shoulder. He's gone the other way. You know, he's sort of like Alexis when Alexis was on fire for us. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
he
That sort of
reminds me of
drive.
Alex.
And even remember the goal. I forget where it was, but which game it was. But he started off in defence and just fucking worked. Like, you know, went back, got the ball, and forced forward. And like, you know, that's what you want to see from a player. He's just doing everything. He's probably even just saying to himself, do you know what? I'm thinking of me here. I'm just going to try my best every game. I'm gonna give it 110%, and we'll see what happens. See where I go. He like, you know, he's shooting for the different planets. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Would you go? Would you go with Saka on the right?
I would go with Saka on the right. Yeah, I think although Pepe, as much as I'd like to see Pepe play, I think Saka in this game, yeah, I'd put Saka on the right. I think he'll big up to Saka because look, I don't hate Saka. I think he's a good player, but it's just sometimes the fans overhype him, and we see it
Mm.
with loads of players. They get overhyped and then they end up falling short of their
Jack
potential.
Wilshere.
Yeah, that Jack Wilshere, like you said. So look, I think Saka does have a high ceiling, but he needs to improve his finishing. And against Norwich, yeah, he was on point with his finishing. But I would go with Saka. Up front, um, it's got to be Lacazette. Obviously, Aubameyang's not available anyway. And Ketia, he ain't gonna do anything in this game. Same with Balogun. So Lacazette. The thing I like with Lacazette is I don't think he's necessarily the best striker, and I don't think he's a top striker, a world class striker. Definitely not. But what he does do is he gives players like Martinelli and Saka the license to make runs, and he'll get
Mm.
deep, and then they can make runs. And yeah, he fits the system well. He definitely fits what Arteta's trying to do. He fits that system well. So I would go
Yeah.
Lacazette. I don't think he wouldn't be there. Would you go
Like,
Lacazette?
yeah, I would go Lacazette. Like, he's probably lost a yard or two, like, you know, as he's getting older. Now, not much. I'm not saying he has, like, just a small bit, and
Yeah,
that's grand. It's what happens to strikers. You know what I mean? But what he's doing now is sort of, as you're saying, he's holding play up. He has the young kids coming flying in. You know what I mean? I seen something there on Twitter going, oh, he hasn't scored, or like, you know what, as much as the rest of them, but his job isn't like his job is what Arteta wants him to do is sort of bring the three players in, your Sakas, Odegaard, you know, Smith Rowe, you know, bring them into play, hold the ball up for them, give a touch off to them, let them score, and that's what you want. I don't care who scores, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything to me, but his hold up play is very good at the minute, and that's sort of like, I think he sort of changed over the years that he was with Arsenal. He was more direct and straight for the goal. But whereas now he's holding up the ball, looking to see who he can pass it and giving it off. So yeah, like, you know, it's I like, you know, I like Lacazette as a player. I think, like, you know, the way he puts his arm around the younger players and gives them advice and stuff like that. That's like, you know, that as a human, it's a good sort of trait to have. You know what I mean? I'm just like, would you ever be into having Martinelli playing up front? Well, I just want to think
hmm
what do you think of
would
that?
work. I think that would work definitely. I would like all the journalists about a year ago were saying we're converting him to a striker anyway. So I'm still waiting to see him at
Mm,
striker. But yeah, I think he has it in him to play up front, play on the left. He's just that player who can fit into a position and to do it well. So yeah,
yeah,
Martinelli could play up front, and then maybe you could have a Pepe in there or
yeah,
A Smith Rowe
yeah,
and an Odegaard. But no, I do think Lacazette should be there because I think the way he holds up the ball would be vital against a team like City where you're not going to have much of the ball. So if he can get the ball and be look, he's not gonna like we said, he's not the best finisher, but what he does do in his team is allow players. He gives them the license to make runs forward, and his hold up play and his link up play is good. So I think he could work in there. But yeah, that would be the lineup. Lacazette up front, then Martinelli. You said Odegaard, I say Smith Rowe, then Saka, Partey, Elneny, Tierney, Gabriel, Holding, and White, assuming Tomiyasu's out, and then Ramsdale in goal.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's not a bad team. You know, it really isn't. Like, yeah, but it's just, you know, just City are just brilliant at the moment. You know, and like if we were getting results, like if we bet Everton that time and we bet United, probably got a result out of Liverpool, like I'd be excited, you know. But we're losing the silly games, and I just think that's where the experience comes in, you know. Like I said it before, United were there for the taking. That annoyed the hell out of me, the United game, because United were shite, you know. So Carrick on the line, you know what I mean, and it just goes to show you, like Carrick was on the line for them and they beat us, you know. Fucking iPad Albert is going to be on the line for us. So if Carrick can do it, why can't he? You know?
Yeah. AirPods in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it even just going back to that as well. Like, you know, that would be exciting as well. Like, you know, if you had Martinelli up front and let's say Pepe or Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Saka, or you could switch it up, Pepe, you know, coming on, that would be exciting. And like Thierry Henry, he was a left winger. He started off as a left winger. I think he was left winger for Juventus, and Wenger turned him into a striker, you know. So yeah, it's not unusual that happens, and they probably are, like, you know, going to train him to be a striker, because come the summertime we're going to be 3 strikers down. You know, you have to replace them. You know, is Martinelli going to be one of them? And then you sign one or two players, or is there someone else in the academy that they're going to put in as a striker position? But yeah, I could certainly see that happening, to be honest with you. It's a good point you made, you know.
Yeah, I agree. Look, we are going to wrap it up here. Jamino said, yeah, like you said, Martinelli, give him a chance up top. Yeah, I would do that. But nah, Delboy, big up for coming on, and I've enjoyed it. It's been a good chat, and I'll definitely have you back on. Like I said, on Saturday, I'm doing a player rating, so if you wanted to come on that, then that'd be like to have you.
Problem,
so,
100%.
Yeah, so, but big up everyone in the chat. Big up Jamino. Big up everyone who's watched and supported. Go subscribe to Delboy. Get him up. I've just hit 200, so big up to everyone for subscribing.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, cheers, man. Like you said at the start, this isn't easy, so
no.
Yeah, you just got to keep putting the work in. Chike says going 7-0 City. Like I said yesterday, my boys get a hat trick. Cancelo, De Bruyne, Diaz, and Bernardo to get on the score sheet. If you're right, Chike, I will give you £100. I'm saying it with my chest. If you're right, I'll give you money. Because I can't see 7-0, and you said all the scorers as well. So
yeah, he's out there.
That is a confident prediction.
He's from Connecticut, isn't he?
Yeah,
my man from Connecticut.
Would it surprise you though?
No, because I think if they did go 3 or 4 up, I think their heads will just drop. You know, the experience. Yeah, the experience isn't there to sort of grab heads together and just go, right, come on, lads, we can't disrespect the fans here and get a hiding. But unfortunately, we don't have that. And yeah, like, look, thanks a million for letting me on. And like, you know, I'm doing the stream tomorrow myself. And if anyone wants to join on, like yourself, like, you know what I mean, come on, have a chat. Anyone, I'm well up for that. No problem.
I'm around. I'll jump on. If I'm around.
Cool. Yeah.
But we're gonna wrap it up here. Delboy's link is pinned to the chat, and it's also in the description. So anyone watching on playback can go and subscribe to him. Also, please do like the stream, subscribe, and Yeah, I'll be back on Saturday with a player ratings. I'll get Delboy on. I think Northside's coming on. Anyone else who wants to come on, email me. My link is in my about section on YouTube, or you can DM me on Twitter. So yeah, we'll wrap it up there. Anything you have to say, Delboy?
No, that's it. Just subscribe to Big Josh. Like, I seen you on Lee there last night. Very good. Like, it's, as it says, it's not hard, and we're only trying to have a word about, like, Arsenal and our point of views. We're not always right. We never will always be right, but we have a right to an opinion. And if any of you want to come on Josh's channel or my channel, you're more than welcome. Drop a comment. If you wanted to come on camera, turn the camera off, have a chat, no problem at all. And thanks a million for having me on, Josh.
Nah, big up to yourself for coming on. But yeah, we are going to wrap it up there, people. Thank you very much for watching. Just as I said, like, subscribe, and share the thing. And to everyone watching on playback, have a happy new year.